Hi, this is an introduction video about all the hardware at the cash register. So with your WakeSys system, you receive from us multiple hardware at for the front desk, and we're going to go through all the different hardware and problems that you might have with them down the road. So we'll start with the Dell touchscreen computer. And in order to switch it on, you have usually, depending on the model, a small button here on the right. What we recommend is when you come in the morning, the first thing that you should always boot up is the computer, because sometimes Windows will do an update and then it might take you 10-15 minutes until that update's done. If you switch the computer on last, well, then you've wasted your time basically while doing all the other things. So that's your 24-inch Dell touchscreen computer here. One other important thing about that is, please do never use window cleaner or alcohol to clean the screen. Don't use water either. Just use a cloth that you would be using for sunglasses or something that has no humidity in it, because if you have water dripping into the frame, it will break the computer. Another thing, depending on how your setup is for the cash register, please make sure that people cannot put any glasses or drinks above the computer screen, because you have a ventilation shaft on the top of most of those Dell computers, and if something falls in there, that computer is instantly dead. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is the RFID scanner. So our RFID scanners are connected via USB, so if at one point you should see that the scanner is not working properly anymore, just pull out the USB cable, put it back in. That should solve most of your issues. If you ever scan a wristband that doesn't beep, chances are very high that it's actually not the scanner, but that it's the wristband that's broken. Because if the wristband's broken, it can't be read by the reader, so the reader won't beep. The next thing that we have at the cash register computer is the webcam on the top left. A common issue that you will have with that is that after Windows updates, all of a sudden you'll have the internal webcam that in this computer is below here, that will start taking pictures instead of this webcam here. We have another video for that and how to reset that. So just look for the other video if all of a sudden you have the wrong webcam taking pictures. Next, we have the receipt printer that is also connected to the computer via USB. And the two most common issues when they are not working is are pretty common. So either somebody switched off the receipt printer. Generally speaking, the receipt printer can always stay on, so don't switch them off in the evening. So, but in case somebody did that, just check if the receipt printer is actually on. The next issue is usually paper. If it's not printing anymore and nothing's coming out, the printer will actually say paper, and in that case, well, you just got to change the paper roll in it. Changing the paper roll leads sometimes to another issue. So if you ever see that your receipt printer is printing white paper, it's not that the receipt printer is out of ink, but it basically means that you put in the paper the wrong way. So if you open up the printer, you actually have an instruction on which way to put in the printer for which way to put in the receipt paper into the printer, so that it actually prints properly. Next, at your cash register, you will have an iPad in landscape mode. And that is the iPad where customers will be able to, first of all, see additional information like which tickets are available, how much they have to pay for that, for what they're buying. And it's also the iPad where people will be able to re-accept terms and conditions, re-sign releases of liability, or privacy policy in case you have any of those. There's going to be another video explaining how that exactly works. But the most important thing about this iPad here is that one's linked to the cash register. Next, we have, and finally, we have the iPads in portrait mode. So those are the iPads where customers go to in order to sign up once they arrive at the park. So to start back at the beginning, what should you do in the morning when you come in? First, you want to switch on your computer. Next, you want to check if your receipt printer actually is on, if the light's blinking. Next, you want to go to the landscape iPad, switch that one on, and we'll make another video explaining how to go from switching it on to putting it into the right app, into locking it down that nobody can use it for instance, going onto YouTube, etc. and next you want to go to the iPads. In the evening, basically, it's the same way. Like I would always recommend to switch off the computer first, because that's where you've been standing. It might do a Windows update then, but that doesn't really matter. Next, you go to the iPad, switch those off, and then you're basically good to go from a WakeSys point of view.